Okay, let's talk about making the exception a little bit more granular. What does that mean? Well, if you mouse over this except keyword here, we're going to get that PyCharm gives me this warning, too broad exception clause. So let me just run this and we'll confirm that there is no issue. Basically, if this is a warning, if this file is not found, we're going to get this message. That's fine, but this is a warning saying, hey, as a developer, we should be doing better. We should be catching, this exception, and we should know what that is. So let me show you how we can get that name of the exception, and then we'll catch it. So I'm gonna just comment this out, and I'm gonna left indent this so that we can get the issue. The issue is the following, right? This file is not found, no such file or directory, but this is the name of the exception, file not found error. So I'm going to just copy that. I just want to show you how you can get the name of the error that you're getting. And by doing that, you can go ahead and I'm going to uncomment this again. And I'm going to say, hey, look, except this, right? Catch this file not found error. And now you could already see that that little warning goes away. If we run this and we see that we get exactly the same thing, we're being more specific. We're saying, hey, look, try this following code. If there's an issue, well, if there's an issue specifically and it's a file not found error issue, go ahead and do this. If there was something else and it was not related to the file not found error, maybe there was something else, you could have a main one here, and that would say, this is a main issue. This is a general issue. This is a general issue. Something like that. That still kind of warns you, but it's okay because now we're basically saying, hey, look, if it's this specific exception, do this. And this is the catch all or the blanket except statement. So that says, hey, if we don't run into anything that's above this one, you can have multiples. Well, go ahead and grab and catch this one. Again, the program is not going to halt execution, and that's the beauty of this. So that's just an added thing I wanted to show you if you were getting this little warning, little yellow squiggly line here. So let's continue talking about, hey, what else we can do. Now that we are using context managers and we're using try except blocks, which is what we're going to do for the rest of these videos, because we know that's the best practice, right? That's the rule of thumb to follow. Well, let's go ahead and get this back so that we can go ahead and print the content. We can print the content here and say, this is what we get. I love fast cars, including Ferraris, because that's what we have in this text file. So far, so good. Okay, great. So this is getting, let's talk about the different things you could do with reading files, right? We're starting with reading files. We'll get into writing files later, but let's continue and finish up the reading of files. Now we're reading, and we're reading the whole file. This is using the read function here. Now, what happens if we don't want to read everything all at once, but we want to read line by line? Well, you've guessed it. Python has this for us. We can say read line. Read line and read lines, right? So we could do it this way. We'll do both so we can see what happens. And here we're going to say my content, sure. Why don't we say line? And here we're going to print the line. Let's go ahead and run this. And we'll see that we get only one line, right? I love fast cars. It's the first line. So it goes line by line. We can do a for loop, but let's do the S here and see what happens here. Well, notice with the S, we get everything, all the lines in a list, right? This is a list. You can have something like this. This is a list. This is a list. And this is going to be very handy. So you could loop through it in terms of a list, or just to go back to this approach, if you go line by line, you could do this just to show you what you could do. You could do something like this, which is while there's a line, go ahead and print the line, and then go ahead and increment the line so that it is the next line, right? Otherwise you get an infinite loop. So something like this will get you through all of them. And if you wanted to, you can get rid of the space here. When you say print, you can say the end, make it so that it's just a space. And you see that everything's here. So just to show that you could do the one without the S, the read line, the singular version, you'll have to create your own loop. Or you could do read lines, and then you could remove this, and then you could just deal with the list. And then at that point you can just say for line in lines, and you'll have to make sure that this is lines. Go ahead and print the line. So you could do something like that. And I like this one better. Why? Because you don't have to worry about the incrementing of the line variable, and you don't have to worry about much more than that. And it looks like that. So I'm hoping this is helping. So you could see that the default, again, the best practices rather, is using try, except blocks, and using the context manager. But there's many ways that we could deal with reading the content. So I'm hoping this is very useful.